this is perimenopause while making biscuits in the kitchen. Well, hi there. You ready for some adventures, right? We are doing and cooking all the things, in particular, breakfast freezer meals. Did we make almost 20 dozen biscuits? I mean, technically it was 16 dozen. It was the dough for 20 dozen, but I cut them. We got 16 dozen out of them. Okay, that was December. It's now February. I think that was about 8 weeks ago. Have we had 8 weeks of biscuits? No. Is it time to make biscuits again? Yes. And so I'm just getting everything set up around here. Hold on, it's a-coming. I knew I had seen my scissors earlier. So I've got some plans, I've got some goals. We are going to do 20 dozen biscuits, homemade from scratch. Yes, we are. We are going to do several pans of sausage gravy. I've got 8 pounds of sausage there, doing the cold water defrost method. And of course, I'm getting started on this much later than I had on my to-do list as life goes, but also look at us, we're doing it. There we go, that's open. Also got in almost 25,000 steps for the day, so that is my idea of a good time. Just want to get a tad organized. This is, well, we will be going through a good bit of these eggs. There's 60 in here, and I think we need 36 eggs. I'm just gonna take them out of the box for a little box saving room. What I plan to do is get the Hobart mixer going. This is a 12-quart mixer. And the way that I have it mathed out is I will need to do 5 batches in the Hobart. I believe last time we used the 30-quart bowl and I just dumped each batch in there and then we dealt with it accordingly. And you know I have a lot of food storage buckets that I rotate. This is some flour that we had got at Sharp Shopper, I believe in the summer, and I was using the flour. I know you see the trash bag there. So this is just the bag that the flour came in. And I set a regular old trash bag in there, put the flour bag in that. I didn't have to use the trash bag, and the trash bag has not come in contact with any food. It's just this summer, open bag of flour, and I thought I'm gonna put a trash bag in there real quick and then slip that flour bag in there just to catch any little spills around the edges. That is all that is. But I know it looks questionable, so there's the full details on that situation. And I'm almost out of that flour. I probably should just dump that in a bowl, honestly. I'm looking around. I might use my IKEA stock pot that's here ready to go. And we're just gonna ring around the rosy here with some of the kitchen appliances. Also, if you haven't heard the news flash yet, Z-Line is fixing my stove, so that is awesome. Yes, I need to also Google my way through replacing the hood lights. Maybe May, right? Because it's February, so maybe we'll get to the hood lights in May. So I'm just gonna do this because this is almost out, and yeah, maybe there was a hole or something. I don't know. I think there's just little spills. Anyway, I've got another bucket of flour here we're gonna use. This just seems like the thing to do. So this was not sealed in buckets for long-term food storage or anything like that. And this was a 50-pound bag of flour. Yeah, so we had that for a bit, but that was a Sharp Shopper nice price deal. And I will also just use buckets to help with these big bags around the edges. Like I just opened a 50-pound bag of jasmine rice we got last week at Costco. Used some of that for dinner last night, and I just put that in a bucket, but we will be rolling through that. Okay, when in doubt, make sure your mixer is plugged in. I have not used this, I don't think, since December when we did the biscuits the last time. So let's see if we can have a go. Nice. All right, so we are still working through our home rendered tallow that we did last winter, right on time. This is another good project to work through, using more of it up. And it is 2.5 cups, which I'm just gonna look on my little jar here. 2.5 looks good to me. That's how I'm gonna measure this evening. So like I was telling you, my goal is to do at least the dough for 20 dozen biscuits. We'll see if it's 16 dozen. Again, I asked my household what they would like for me to do a special Valentine's dinner for us, and they said homemade biscuits and gravy. And I thought that's perfect, because while I get going with biscuits, I will also get more breakfast freezer meal sandwiches done. And we have several bags of sausage patties from Costco recently. And like I mentioned, we have several 2-pound rolls of sausage from Sharp Shopper. And I have flour and I have tallow. One of the comments I received today as I was going through reading and approving and answering comments, she said, I remember back in the day when you used to get 6 to 8 gallons of milk at a time. And I'm like, oh, I still get multiple gallons of milk at a time. It's just, I live in the wonderful land of Walmart grocery delivery. It's like the olden days of a milkman, right? And so when we need things like milk, I just add that to a grocery delivery and it comes to my door. And that way, when I am out shopping, I'm not having to have 8 gallons of milk take up space in my cart. So that is nice. And I do usually get 6 to 8 gallons of whole milk at a time and 4 gallons of chocolate milk at a time. So that's 10 gallons a week we're rolling through around here. So the milk is still aplenty. And like I say, that chocolate milk doesn't even count. So how things go. So in this video cooking project, you've already heard it. Biscuits, sausage gravy, hope getting a bunch of freezer meals from that in the freezer, and homemade breakfast freezer meal sandwiches, sausage patties, and a ham variation. Let's get all of that done. I bet it'll be a lot. Okay, it's pretty good eyeballing with this jar of tallow. And you can use tallow, you can use lard, you can use butter, you can use coconut oil. I've used all of these different cooking fats in biscuits. Same thing with the liquid. I've done it with just water. I have milk. I'm going to use milk. That'll be more of the drinking milk that Mama's using for cooking, right? Okay, so looking at my notes here, 7 eggs. Let me move my phone notes back. So I was at the Dollar Tree about a week or so ago. I believe I did a Dollar Tree shop with me and haul video over in my Large Family Table community membership. So I don't remember if it was a week or 2 ago, but earlier in February, got us some decorations and special heart plates and heart cups and treats and heart straws and all of those fun and cute things. And I was hoping to do that tonight, but here it is 6 o'clock and I'm just getting started with our big batch biscuits. So I'm going to be realistic, Mama, and say I'm not getting that done tonight. I'll get this cooking done and that'll be good. And hold on, let me rinse my hands real quick. And last night I did 2 chickens in a pot on top of potatoes. We're still working through that last potato deal that I got at the John Henry General Store. Sorry, looking at my notes for a minute. And so we do have some of those leftovers for tonight. So they can heat up chicken and potatoes in the microwave while I'm doing these big batch biscuits and other adventures. And then, hey, look, we will have meal prepped for our Valentine's party tomorrow evening. I bet you guys are seeing this on or around Valentine's Day. So I'm ahead, yay. And if you haven't seen it yet, head to my second channel. It's just my first name. It's all caps, Jamerrill, but my first name in all caps. And I have the first 4 episodes of my podcast are out over there. This is good. Okay, I'm looking at my notes again. Oh, I didn't put my tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in there. That is fine, so I'll do that now. You good, bowl? You look like, yeah, you're seated in there. You're just a noisy one like me. We're women who make some noise, right? We like to call this Hope the Hobart. Okay, doing pretty good. So for each batch, what I'm doing here is 12 cups of flour, and then I'm putting in 7 tablespoons of baking powder, 3.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 3.5 teaspoons of salt, 2.5 cups of tallow. Again, that can be butter or coconut oil or lard as well. 7 eggs, 4 cups of liquid. I say you can do 3.5 to 4.5 cups of liquid, and this can be milk, water, or if you're keeping it dairy-free, it can also be almond milk because it's already dairy-free using tallow instead of butter. You just have to eyeball your dough to see if it needs a little more liquid or not. And also a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So if someone was going to do this in a 6-quart KitchenAid, this big of a batch, it would be divided down for about 10 batches using 6 cups of flour per batch. And if you'd like that recipe, you can head to largefamilytable.com and I'll have it linked in the description below. So you know me, I'm already making a plan, reworking a plan, thinking of tomorrow's plan. So I have had people come through and work on heating up their leftovers for dinner tonight, which is super. And tomorrow those chicken and potatoes will be gone. Now let me keep count. This is our second biscuit dump. Okay. And we are into our other bag of flour. And so trying to get a workflow. Maybe this week's cooking will work out with the workflow pretty close. We'll see how many times we adapt and reconfigure in this video. But biscuits tonight, it could happen. We could at least get our batches of dough mixed up. Now, I won't be able to chat while I count my dough, will I? I just know I won't. Counting out loud helps me. It's like Sesame Street. 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now I can go back to my plan. But if I can get the biscuits done tonight, flash freezing, maybe some baking. And then tomorrow, bake through more, get some in freezer bags, make breakfast freezer meal sandwiches with super easy components. And then tomorrow evening, see, I have 2 other family members with appointments out, and we had our other fun adventures we were doing while we're out. Okay, now we've got to count 7 of these. 1, okay, we got 6 more left. So what I'm thinking is when we get home, simple sandwiches in the morning, variety, as many as we can, go. And out for hours, and then back home and make the gravy, and then have our Valentine's party. Could work, right? I was telling someone today, I'm always reconfiguring the schedule, and if there's suddenly, a 4-hour open block that wasn't there before, where plans have changed, I will quickly readjust if I can improve something. Okay, but I have to count though. 4, 5, 6, 7. But just like I thought earlier today, I would be having a Valentine's party tonight. But I'm still ahead because, again, we're several days from Valentine's Day. Just something fun. I'm working on the new traditions and stuff still, and forever. And I was like, we could do a fun Valentine's dinner party. That would be neat. And the kids pick the menu. I like it. Okay. Baking soda, and now our salt. Do that. Do a tablespoon and then a half teaspoon. That's just kind of eyeballing. And now I'm gonna let this mix while we get into another jar of tallow. All right, got a wide mouth jar this time. That's nice. And our spoon. A little slippery though. There we go. Good. Now, eggs, rolling through the eggs, not getting any shells in our mix. 1. Sorry, mixer. Sorry, I am doing so many things poorly right now. Oh no, you're gonna work that out? Thank you. Okay, life with me, it's a bit. Just pour it in gently over the side, Jamerrill. It'll be okay. I might owe you a little bit more milk though. Biscuit batch. Let's see how we're gonna work this out. Okay, this is our 3rd batch. After this, we're gonna do 2 more. Over on the blog, I have the recipe written out to do the 10 dozen, and we're working on getting the recipe for the 20 dozen, but it also has the 6-quart KitchenAid variation. And really, this Hobart, well, I was gonna say this wasn't much more than a KitchenAid, but depends on when you get your KitchenAid price. It's definitely the price of 2 KitchenAids, but it was delivered, so that's good. And it was several thousand off of what it would have been new. Thank you, Hobart Facebook Marketplace. Okay, and then we like to save our tablespoon of apple cider vinegar for last. I got my Richmond Marathon shirt in the mail. I only did the Richmond half marathon in 2025, but I am signed up to do the full Richmond Marathon. I'm signed up for more than one marathon, several ultra marathons. I have a really, really fun 2026 running list, but they sent me the t-shirt in the mail, so I will start to represent upcoming races. Lots of fun. Okay, so that's doing something there. You gonna be okay, Doe? Let's just calm down a minute. Okay. You're climbing on out. Climbing on out. And I have a trail running event coming up. Next 2 weeks, I have trail running events. One is a 25K and one is a 10 miler. Let me see. Okay, you get off of there. So that is fun and exciting. Okay, let's do another round on. Nice. Alrighty, trucking right along. Third batch out, even though we had that little milk adventure. Okay, 3. My brain is getting excited because it knows what's about to happen once we get through 5 batches here. It knows it's audiobook and biscuit cutting time. And my energy's good. Everyone else is good. Jamerrill, where are your kids? Oh, they're here. We've had a nice busy day. Now we're moving on. Let me get this sticky dough off my hands real quick. Also, oh, where did I put my towel now? Where was I? Why was I there? What was happening? Hold on. Days of the week. Was it yesterday? No, it was Monday. I was out for some appointments with another family member day before yesterday, went into another thrift store, got a very nice stash of replacement coffee cups. Very exciting, I know, but I'm looking at one sitting on the table right now. Like some of these are oversized, and I'm like, some of these folks are going to fill those all the way to the top with chocolate milk. I know it's happening. Anyway, that one on the table I'm looking at happens to be full of water, so we're sensible, but hopefully remind me in a few minutes. I'll show you some of them, and they're just super cute. Very, very nice. You know, thrift store cups make me happy, right? Okay, 2, 3. Oh, and the weather report. I always think of all the things to tell you while I'm counting flour. 4. Hold on, brain. 5. Jam fam knows how this works. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Now I can have the reward of telling you what I was going to tell you, but I forgot what it was. Hold on. It'll come back. This is perimenopause while making biscuits in the kitchen. Gone. Totally gone. It'll come back at a random time. Whatever it was, it'll come back around the mountain here. Okay, light is on. 12 cups of flour, 7 cups of baking powder, 7 tablespoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, doing that. Now, our 3 teaspoons and half a teaspoon of baking soda. So I do 1 tablespoon and I eyeball half a teaspoon. There we go. And then next we have salt. I have to look at my recipe because we seem to only be doing this every 8 weeks. Tablespoon. Nice. Half an eyeballed teaspoon. And we're going to let those dry ingredients mix. And I'm going to start the tallow. Here's one of the cups. I just went to let someone in. Isn't that cute? It was just so cute at the thrift store. Like I say, it's water in there. Other thing, I know what I was going to tell you. It came back. The weather. It was 55 today, and the sun was popping. It's like summer in Virginia, so we took advantage of that. We were outside for hours, and I got in lots of steps. All right, so this that I'm about to put in our 30-quart mixing bowl is actually my 4th batch. Wait a minute, I think this needs to go another minute. Hold on here. So I got talking to a young adult that just got home, rolling through the day and things. And I didn't film at the same time. A lot of times when talking to kids and family and life and stuff and things, I will also be multitasking and filming. So I'm actually very rarely in this kitchen alone. But anywho, wasn't filming, got this 4th batch done. It's climbing on up. Hold on a minute. And I think it's done. I just saw a little bit of wetness. That's why I wanted to put it on for another minute. There we go. We'll call that good. So this next batch after this is actually our 5th batch. And then it will be audiobook time. And cutting biscuits. Although I do have one more thing to tell you. Another update. I tell you, I don't film for a few days, and I just have all kinds of things to update you on in this kitchen. Okay, that's good. And now let's do this last batch. Whole tray of eggs. And this can of baking powder wasn't brand new when we started, so. All right, sticky dough. I'm doing pretty okay. I hadn't got anything into that flour bucket. It's half full now. It was full. It was, what are they, 5-gallon buckets? So we've used half of that. Just keep on rolling. Okay, but I can't tell you nothing while I count flour. You can count these as exercises though. 1, 2, 12. Okay, made that. What I was going to tell you is, drum roll please, I replaced the beef freezer. Oh yes, I did. So it's been a little bit of a circus as happens. Okay, let me get my note back up. And I will tell you the beef freezer circus as in between my big counting. I think I'm good after I do these 7 tablespoons of baking powder. 1, 2, stretch my neck, 3, 4. My screen keeps dimming and I have to take it off. That battery saving mode for when I'm checking on recipes. 5, 6, 7. Okay, great. Baking soda. Okay. Tablespoon and a half a teaspoon. Same thing with the salt. And now I can dig out tallow. I can tell you about the beef freezer while I dig out tallow. Okay. All good. I know in a perfect world, every jar ever would be a wide mouth, but it just doesn't work out that way when you're canning and using jars. Sometimes you have regular mouth. Oh, this is hard to open because my spoon is so tallowed up. Just got to catch it on an edge. Oh, almost, maybe. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do something different. Hold on. Can probably use one of my measuring spoons. It's not pressure canned. It's just sealed very well. Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead, I talked to her whenever I rendered this my tallow and my lard. There we go. And she had told me when she does hers, it just goes in her food storage room in her basement, and then they use it. And it stays at a good temperature there, and things work out well. So that's what I've been doing, and we should be pretty close to being done working through this. I'll have to check, I guess, at the end if I still ended up with a dozen jars of tallow that needed used. I could always do some more biscuits for the freezer and get it used up that way, right? I am very excited about doing lard again. That was absolutely delicious. The tallow is great too. It's just, lard became my special friend in 2025. I cooked lots of good things with it. Beef freezer, right? Okay, so you know, freezers come, freezers go. I usually get several years out of one, and I just get Lowe's freezers. And so anyway, one of my, I think in 2016, decade ago at the Forest House that year, I think I got one in 2016 and that was like my first ever brand new freezer. So if you're ever like, how do you have all this kitchen stuff? It's just, I've been gathering stuff for a while, right? Been a mama doing all these things going on my third decade. Whew, cat in the window. Hi. You scared me. Hi. Okay. Go to the other door. You know how to get in. It's not through this window while I'm cooking. So that brand new 2026 Frigidaire freezer, we got a decade out of it, and it went maybe 2 months ago now. It didn't like shock me when it went, in that it's not like I opened it and everything had defrosted and we lost things. We did not. I'm trying to think now how it went. Well, you know, I was having trouble with some of my seals. And so several of you told me just get some freezer locks again. And so I'm doing that with my chicken freezer. I think in just keeping an eye on and making sure those locks were working, I realized the beef freezer wasn't as cold as it was. I kept an eye on it and I could tell things were starting to defrost. And so we moved them out, which means my freezers aren't organized again. But again, we didn't lose anything. And then, yeah, within a few days, it was just cold like a refrigerator and it just died. So anyway, I had the idea, what days of the week again? Maybe last weekend. I was like, oh, Lowe's did, and they did such a phenomenal job. The last freezer I had that was done, I think I only got like 3 or 4 years out of that one, approximate. We can't do all the freezer lore, but I know so many of you could quote the old magic, you know. And I know I was held up last time with the freezer because I just didn't know how I'd get the old one out and the new one in. And those Lowe's delivery guys, they just went above and beyond. And I'm trying to think, I don't even think I paid for the haul away service, but they like they had it down behind my house, met me at the door. I was just trying to get them to leave it in the driveway. And they were like, no. And they were they were helping me. And I appreciated that. So they did so phenomenal. My good thought was, I know this is holding me up on my batch here. I've got to try to chat and work, right? Hardworking, chatty, and keep working, Jamerrill. Okay. Got the tallow. We can do this. I can crack eggs while I do this too. Okay, so 7, 6, 7. Got it. Now, I don't think I mixed, like, let my little dry ingredients spin. That's okay. Well, it'll all work out, hopefully, right? So last weekend, it was a good thought, okay? It was a good effort in me thinking, oh, I could get a beef freezer. It's in my budget for February. I'm like, I could do that. Because I need to replace some dishwashers, and Z-Line's coming to fix the stove, and I have to replace a microwave. But still, with my food projects and rotating, I put the beef freezer was actually the smallest thing on my budget. So, because for the dishwashers, I'll need to pay to have them installed, and same thing with the microwave, on and on and on. So I just thought I can do that freezer. So I did it. I ordered it, I think Sunday. And there's one thing I didn't account for. We still have 8 inches of snow. And yes, today was a beautiful, almost summer day. Monday was not. And there was still a lot of ice. Like, my driveway's been clear, but they can't get it through the house. They analyzed the path, just through here and the way my basement steps are and all that. No. So, oopsie on that. And I need another milk. So for now, I have the beef freezer here in this kitchen. But the Lowe's guys, again, super wonderful. They said that once the snow's gone, they will come back and they will get this freezer. They'll take it down on the dolly for me, and I did pay for the haul-away service this time. That's my timer for something. And they will haul it away, put the new one down, haul the old one away. It'll all work out. So now I'm like, if I would have thought through the ice and the snow, I probably should have just waited another 2 weeks. But it's one of those things like, hey, it's off my list. I mean, I got it done. I got it here. And I'll probably end up using it to like flash freeze these biscuits and stuff while we're up here. I know lots of people will ask me just different questions like, why didn't I have a freezer in this kitchen? And this kitchen originally was different in my plan. Originally, this kitchen, and I'm trying to think how many square feet this is. I mean, I'd have to go back to watch my old videos. I think this is around 600 to 700 square feet. And I had a baby kitchen before. And so the original plan is this area that I'm in here, this was all gonna be a separate room, kind of like a runway, and there's plenty of space here. This was gonna be like a butler's pantry, like Sarah from Our Tribe of Many, my friend Sarah. I was thinking along those lines, only there was a lot I was gonna put in this room. I was going to have like the 5 freezers in it, and double washer and dryer, and a folding counter, and some like upstairs pantry storage. If that would have ended, here over, and there was gonna be a door, other side of where you are, and then the excitement. And then the rest of this room was going to be the kitchen, which meant there would have been countertops here, and like the stove would have been over there. The island would have been smaller, been down that way. Probably wouldn't have been room for like the 15-foot table. I think in some of the original sketches I did, like I had maybe a table down that way. It still would have been a very nice sized kitchen, and there would have been this butler's pantry room which I was going to use for just a great many things, a lot of multi-purpose things. However, then I got dreaming and I was like, but you know what? Like, it's such a big family and we have a lot of people over, and what if it was just all a kitchen? And got thinking about, well, I could have freezers downstairs. I already have a pantry room downstairs. And there had been talk about maybe doing like a, what is it? Is it a dumbwaiter? One of those little elevator thingies? Lots of good thoughts and plans. But to answer just, down memory lane, some of those questions, that was some of the thought process thinking. And then I just got thinking, well, I mean, it would also be fun to have a giant table and a 12-foot island and all these other wild things. That would be a fun splash. So that's how those decisions were made at that time. Okay, these are our 5 batches. So now I will get this batch out. My bowl has been behaving. We'll see if that continues. My bowl removal process. Maybe it's behaving, maybe I'm behaving. Who knows? Okay, nice. That's how our dough is working out. All right, so it is time to feed the mama. I know we have dozens and dozens of biscuits to cut, and time got away from me. In that I still need to feed myself one more smallish meal. Believe me, I've had lots of bigger meals today. But I'm going to enjoy some of my sugar-free crunchy almond butter and my vegan yogurt I eat with my chia seeds. And choose your own adventure. I like to drop a couple Lily's chips on this. I don't have it every day now. I was having it a couple times a day. It was like a real treat to have yogurty things, for someone in the dairy-free world. And but I do prep. Well, what I've been doing lately is one container, I put my chia seeds in it, let those soak, then dump it into a bowl, add my toppings, have a nice time. We like a nice time. I'm going to just use my spoon and finish that jar. That's what that looks like. And I feel like there was something else. Don't have any bananas right now. I think this is what I was eating. Okay, but I like food, so time to eat one more time. And, oh, excuse me, I'll be back. Okay, this is something delicious I did the other day too. Remember when we made those running cookies a few weeks ago? This is like 2, but 1 broke in half. That's from a bag I had defrosted. Sorry, like I said, I'm finishing this. No one else eats this almond butter here but me. Anyone can, but they prefer peanut butter. Anyway, I've been spreading almond butter on my running cookies. It's like, how many delightful things can I have at one time? And these were gluten-free oatmeal. I'll put the recipe down in the description below. Maybe even the video we did them in. It was the cooking projects the weekend of the winter storm. So I'm on my last bag of these and I have 1 more left. Okay. I can now make it through cutting biscuits. This is filed under stuff I most definitely should not be doing. And that's what I was laughing about. I was making that joke in my head while carrying that. Not the time for jokes, right? Okay. Parchment paper. Activate. And I think we can use some full-size baking sheets to do this flash freezing. I'll have to check in the freezer, but is that what I want to do? Yes. Because doing sandwiches in the morning, I'm just rolling through. Like, why are you doing these things? What are we doing now? We'll go check our size. Again, this is not where this is staying, but temporary. Will you fit in? Well, maybe not. What I'm distracted by is there's freezer keys. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Well, maybe not. I could put it in kind of crooked. Then they'd kind of slide though. Huh. All okay. We do have some ice. I wonder if just the door hadn't been shut all the way, right? That also is a possibility. I hadn't actually checked in on this. Okay. You're going to have a good life here, freezer. Let's see if you're closing all the way. That seal's not looking like it's sealing. That's not great. Okay, let me lock you for a minute. I used to keep my freezer keys on my keychain. Does that mean you're locked? I don't like how this seal is not. We should not have a seal issue already. Sorry, excuse me. I guess I should check in on my new purchase here. No, seal, you're not looking like you're doing it. So, well, and this is also turned down to super crazy -7. Okay. All right. Too many life problems right now. Too many life problems coming at me. So, there's that. I won't use these. I'll use smaller ones. I'm just reorganizing in my head. It takes me a minute. Well, finally, Jam Fam, we are to the biscuit cutting portion of the evening. And so I just grabbed big handfuls of dough. You know, I'm eyeballing it. And I'm rolling out the dough as I can with, hey, I was able to find my little rolling pin. So we're already doing things. And I'm just going to take each biscuit and put it on the sheet pans and get them in the freezer to freeze overnight. I figure that's pretty good. I wasn't going to work with cooking through biscuits or making gravy or doing the breakfast freezer meal sandwiches on this evening. I thought I got the gigantic batch of dough made. We did it in Hope the Hobart, and now we are just going to get these biscuits cut, and after this I win my elementary school bedtime, right? And I took the time to just get out some quick parchment paper for each of these baking sheets. So we should be able to just fill a sheet, scooch it over, get another sheet, fill that. I'm trying to cut a few biscuits from the little extra dough there that I can, and then we will get out another batch and we will roll it out again. I put a little flour on the counter and on my biscuit cutter and also on my rolling pin, and we're just rolling biscuits through the evening here. Okay, the final biscuit count before we get these in the oven, in the freezer to freeze overnight, is we came out with 208 biscuits, little over 17 dozen. You know, some are cut a little bigger, some are a little smaller, some are a little thinner, some are a little thicker. It's going to all work out great in the end, though. It was enough dough for 20 dozen biscuits, and they're made with lots of love. That's what they have going for them. We will bake through some of these in the morning for upcoming freezer meal sandwich adventures. Also bake up some for our biscuits and gravy Valentine's party, and get some bagged up after they are flash frozen. So yay, we did it. Tired mom voice now, right? All right, good morning. I'm gonna see about opening this with our little freezer key. Nice. Okay, so here's our biscuits. They've done their job overnight, and I'm going to start running these through, baking them for the most part. I think actually we'll just probably bake them all and or get breakfast freezer meal sandwiches in the freezer. Alrighty, so I'm just going to start running these through the oven now, and I'm fine with these setting out during the process as well. And here's my bags of goodies for our Valentine's party. Got some fun little things. I opened these up, and some of these are still a little doughy on the inside, so I'm going to put them back in for a few more minutes. Okay, first one's going out. Big gobs of butter. They want that to melt on there, so it's a good morning request. Been out walking in the bathrobe, going out for another round, just checking on these. These look great, actually. I don't need to rotate them yet. Okay, I'm back in for another round. These are baking slower. My oven has an option called low bake. I've always used high bake. Remember, I'm the problem, it's me. But maybe these bigger biscuits need to bake on low bake. I mean, I've turned the temperature down, I've baked them longer. I'm just testing this low bake setting. Although the bottoms look like they're burning on those. Not burning, they're just dark. We'll figure it out. Just things I'm problem solving this morning. So usually when I do my big batch gravy, I do 2 pounds of sausage in each of these 17-inch Lodge cast iron pans. And at first I thought, okay, 2 pounds each pan, and then I'm going to make each batch of gravy, and I'll do this 4 times. Then I got to thinking, you know what? I can still double cook my sausage in each pan. So I'm cooking 4 pounds of sausage in each pan, breaking it up, and then once the sausage is cooked through, I will remove visually, we're gonna eyeball it because that's how we roll around here. Jamerrill's eyeball in school. I'm going to remove half of the sausage from each pan, set that aside. Then we will still make our 4 pans full of gravy. I'm hoping to leave the equivalent of 2 pans out for my family for this weekend. And then we will also have the equivalent of 2 pans full for the freezer. They might eat 4 pans full, in 4 days. I just don't know. But I'm hopeful that I'm gonna get half of this big batch to feed them now and half of this big batch to feed them later, because everybody loves the sausage gravy around here. Does this belong in the marathon breakfast meal prep video? Well, it's still meal prep. So the days are rolling by, but we've almost got, I almost said 8 gallons of gravy. It probably will be by the time we're done. We have over 200 biscuits done. And the Valentine's party, it's still happening before Valentine's Day. So we're still on top. We're still winning. Also, I'm going to run the Holiday Lake 25K, 50K event. It's in my state. It's overnight in a heated 4-H cabin with a bunch of other ultra marathon running ladies. I'm going to film that whole adventure for my second channel, but it's a quick overnight for me now this evening in all of this meal prep. And I'm running the 25K in the woods. Did you ask me about running? Thank you so much. And the 25K is about 15.5 miles. So anyway, there will be gallons of gravy and biscuits, and what I'm holding. This is a baked spaghetti, and I have a baked ziti out. Lunchtime currently, I'm gonna go ahead and get these going in the oven as well, and that'll be some quick reheat dinner options while I'm gone for one whole night, but will also help us through the weekend. We did 2 chickens on top of root vegetables maybe 2 nights ago. There's maybe 7 or 8 potatoes left from that. The chickens are pretty well picked down. There might be like 2 to 3 servings left. So we're finishing that dinner, we're meal prepping this dinner, and we're meal prepping a bunch of from scratch breakfasts. Now additionally, people are gonna fry eggs in bacon grease, make scrambled eggs, and add even more with these breakfast options. And I can actually report from the future, that all the gravy we make in this video gets consumed over the weekend. And so the following week, we still have several dozen biscuits left. And I led one of my teenagers in showing them how to make homemade from scratch gravy. And they made a few more panfuls as well. So it's in gravy time, but it really is everyone's favorite. And as I said, I am excited about the Richmond Marathon that I will be doing in fall 2026. They sent me the t-shirt early, but that is fun. My goal for 2026 is to complete my full marathons within the full marathon time. I would like to improve, and hey, did you ask me about running again? Yeah, thanks, my favorite topic. I would like to slightly improve my half marathon time, but overall my big focus is doing longer trail running endurance events. I have several of those on the calendar, and as 2026 unfolds, I will share more of those with you. And as far as my road running, I just want to keep running steady, running the whole thing, and also finishing within the time for the course. And so far for 2026, I've been getting about 50 miles a week in on my feet. That is extra walking, hiking, and running as well. I'm definitely not running 50 miles, but as far as what they call time on your feet, I am getting time on my feet in, doing all kinds of good movement with my body and these legs. So here's a look at how our yay, still one day ahead, Valentine's biscuits and gravy party is working out. We haven't poured our beverages yet, but everybody's got a goodie box and random Dollar Tree items like, hey, I mean, it was snowing a week ago, an extra layer of gloves, and we got our heart napkins and heart plates and heart cups and gallons of gravy and some more gallons of gravy going in the freezer. That's 2 batches of biscuits there that we have heated through that we're going to have with our biscuits and gravy, and this is part of our Valentine's fun. So now I am pulling out our 2 freezer meal pasta dishes that we did. I don't know, when did we even do these? 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. We got several pasta dishes in the freezer, and they are helpful on meal prep days. Like today, obviously you see all the wonderful biscuits and gravy for our fun Valentine's party. And as I shared, that definitely meal prepped breakfast for the weekend and even into the following week. That is still being loved very much. So for these gigantic meal prep cooking blocks, we got 208 biscuits done. We did 4 of my 17-inch Lodge cast iron pans full of gravy. As I shared, a few days later, I had a teenager make some more gravy because we were out already and they still had some more biscuits that they were rolling through. The Valentine's party was a big success, and I was able to safely go run the Holiday Lake 25K, which actually turned out to be a 29K. A 25K is about 15.5 miles. They added several more miles to the end of the race, so it ended up being an 18-miler. Surprise! I did the whole thing in 5 hours and 30 minutes on snow, ice, and micro spikes. So if you've ever done 18 miles on snow and ice with micro spikes on your feet, you know that's a good way to say, hi, calf muscles, how are you doing? But I did the event very well, very fun, connected with lots of friends along the way, made it home safely, and all of those fun adventures. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you. The recipes will be linked below, and I'll also chat with you in those comments below. Bye-bye.